Well, good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Jaime Perez. Know many of you in the room. I've been involved in politics for a long time. I think there are some issues that all the candidates need to be talking about, and that was my motivation to get involved in this race, because it's very important that we at least put the issues on the table. And that's my purpose. I hope you will visit my website, jaimeforelpaso.com, and I have very specific policy recommendations there that will give you a better sense of what I'm putting on the table.
You will have 1 minute to answer the following question. What do you think are the pros and cons of a city government that's run by a city manager? And if you are elected, would you do anything to change our structure of city government with regards to that city manager?
I do not think that there's much difference between a strong mayor or a city manager form of government. I would keep the city manager form of government only because we can't change it. It's not going to be on the charter election. We won't be able to do anything for 2 years. What I would do, however, as one of the first things in my agenda, would be to ask the current city manager to resign. I have serious concerns, ethics concerns, and certainly the process in which some of the decisions have been made with bond programs, the way the sports venue was negotiated, and the reticence to reveal information by their blocking the freedom of information requests. There's just a number of concerns that I have. The bottom line, if we're not happy with the city manager, it's really a function of the fact that the people who are supervising are not doing their job.
Thank you. The recent debate over immigration reform has brought up the question of border security. In your opinion, is our border with Mexico secure? And how, as mayor of El Paso, would you advise lawmakers in Washington to proceed with immigration reform?
Well, first of all, no one's going to listen to a mayor from El Paso. Thank you very much. But I have been involved with the immigration for a long time. And a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, I don't remember right now, when the Arizona issues started coming up, I made 2 proposals publicly and that I still sustain, which I think should be part of the current comprehensive immigration reform. One is a non-immigrant visa be extended to anybody who's in the United States so they can come out of hiding. I think the fact that they are in this gilded golden cage where they can't move, they're afraid of just going on about their lives, has to stop. On the other hand, once that non-immigrant visa is extended, then you have to have a mechanism through which they can apply for normalization, citizenship, residency, whatever you want, however you want to think about it.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. El Paso has earned the distinction of being named the safest city in the United States for the past 3 years. The El Paso firemen and policemen's pension is now facing a $270 million shortfall. As mayor, what steps would you take to address this issue, and would you support an increase of the city's contribution to that fund?
There is no question we have an obligation to our law enforcement personnel. They do an absolutely essential job, and we have to make that pension whole. I don't like it, but we have to make that pension whole and take care of our law enforcement officers. Having said that, the control of that pension is currently not in the hands of the city. So if the city is going to increase its contribution to make that pension whole, we have to make sure that we have the right people in charge of how decisions are made in terms of investments and where those investments are going to be placed. One of the biggest problems that we have in this city is that we have a little kind of sweetheart operation between some of the big banks, some of the big money people in town who are just kind of playing with the money up here and not allowing things to happen in the way that they should.
You have 2 minutes to answer the following question. The ballpark is coming, so the question is, what is your personal commitment to making the full extent of the development expectation a reality to the citizens of El Paso?
I have the full intention of supporting everything that was voter approved and making that sports venue a success. But I can tell you this, the first thing that I will investigate is whether it is possible to move it from where it is destined to Cohen Stadium. Because I do not believe that we need that sports venue downtown. It's simply not going to be the economic driver. I support, the economic drivers in this town are Fort Bliss and trade with Mexico. That's it. We are surrounded by 600 miles of nothing. If we were a Dallas, if we were a San Diego, I would say put a lot of effort and a lot of money into the sports venue downtown. I just don't think it's going to be a success. Having said that, it's voter approved. The bonds are voter approved. The judge has said that under the 1205, they're valid bonds, and I have an obligation to respect what has been decided and to see it to fulfillment on time and on budget. What I did want to come say is that we have to do something about the exorbitant and just overwhelming control of this town by essentially 3 billionaire interests. They are major shareholders in the banks, Chase Bank and Wells Fargo, and they control absolutely everything that goes on in this town. And it is very important that we start talking about this openly and publicly about how we can begin to get some balance into public policy so that we start benefiting the taxpayer and the homeowner and not allow this incredibly obscene transfer of wealth from regular citizens, seniors on limited incomes and Social Security, actually guaranteeing the play opportunities of the rich and powerful in this town. Thank you very much.